5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All systems go with Josh Appelbaum starts now.
Hello and welcome to episode 428 of the All Systems Go Sports Betting Podcast, powered by Rhythm. I am your host, Josh Appelbaum. What's going on, everyone? Happy Thirsty Thursday. Another day here in the arena, guys, but it's a special day today because we are about to kick off one of the most epic 5-day stretches of football betting that you're ever going to see. So, of course, tonight I do have a best bet for you on Ole Miss and Miami, College Football Playoff Final Four. And then tomorrow we have another College Football Playoff game where we're looking at Indiana and Oregon. Another really sharp move in that one. We've talked about that before. But then Saturday, you got NFL playoffs. Sunday, you got NFL playoffs. Monday Night Football, we got NFL playoffs. So let's see if we can make the most of this epic 5-day stretch and see if we can cash some tickets here on what I would call really the best time of the year to be betting on football, both pro and college. So want to mention that we do have a play here on tonight, for tonight with Ole Miss in Miami. And then also want to remind everyone they do have the Rhythm Rundown tonight. So if you are interested and you're free and you got some free time getting ready for the Final Four game here tonight with Ole Miss and Miami, just log into Twitter and we'll be going live. Myself, my buddy Cade Harper, from 6 p.m. Eastern time to 7 p.m. Eastern time, talking about all these games, late movement. We're going to go through all the playoff games, pro and college, over the next 5 days, and might dabble in a few other things as well. But you can just get right on Twitter. You can follow me at Josh_insights. And of course, you can get right in there, ask questions, tune in, learn more about Rhythm, and hopefully help you cash some tickets and walk you through these games upcoming today, tomorrow, and this weekend. Now, I did want to mention last night, winning night, 2-1, plus 0.65 units. Went 2-1 in college basketball. Had a great hit with Furman to start the day. Remember, that was the early 5 o'clock game, but Furman got steamed up, especially late. That was important to me, that late movement. But -1.5 up to -2.5, -3. Money lining a short favorite came through, so that was nice to see. And then the game that really got me excited was Stanford. Who sweat Stanford last night? I know you guys did because that was a blueprint play. Public was Vatek, but Vatek opened around -5.5. You might have gotten Stanford +5, +4.5. They closed at 3.5. So it's always nice to beat the closing line and diagnose a game correctly. And I want to give a special shout out to Ebuka Okori. Ebuka Okori. This kid is a freshman and he had an incredible game. I think he's the third best leading scorer in all of college basketball. But Stanford was not covering much of the game, and they ended up winning on pretty much a walk-off three-pointer. Okori, this kid, this freshman, nailed a three to win outright. So thank you to Stanford for getting that one done with a reverse line move play. Only loser, it was sharp as attack, but man, I'm just going to tell you right now, that Baylor team is just stupid. The way they play is just dumb. They end up losing by 10. Iowa State, the public, gets the last laugh. Got the 4.5 there. Opened at 6. Some shops even closed at 4, 3.5. So beat the closing line. But Baylor had a lead early, blew it, and they made a comeback bid. And then in the last 2 minutes or so, there were 2 straight Hail Mary passes that Iowa State threw. Both times Baylor was not defending the guy. He streaks for a layup. So and I thought that guy Scott Drew was supposed to be a good coach. I guess it's about your players, not as much coaching. But Baylor did let us down. But either way, guys, that's what we try to do. 3 plays, go 2-1, plus 0.65 units. So good seeing Furman and Stanford come through for the team. Now, before we dive into a full breakdown for a game that I cannot wait to sweat tonight, Ole Miss in Miami, I wanted to update you guys on a new feature that Odds Logic just unveiled today. So you hear me talk about it quite a bit, but I love Odds Logic. I'm an affiliate of Odds Logic because I believe in the product. It's a fantastic live odds page, and they just unveiled a new feature today called the Sharp Plays. So introducing the Sharp Plays, it's now in beta, which means you can test it out if you are an Odds Logic user. But I'll just kind of read to you. Turn on my Odds Logic page this morning. I saw this alert. It said, quote, "Introducing Sharp Plays Beta. Sharp Plays automatically detect near simultaneous line moves across multiple sportsbooks, a strong indicator of sharp betting activity. This helps you identify high confidence market moves in real time and make better use of the information available. View the video below to learn how to fully customize line constraints, timing parameters, leagues, sportsbooks included, in the sharp plays. Note, this is a beta feature. OddsLogic will continue expanding league coverage and functionality based on user feedback. So when you get this alert, when it pops up, I would click Enable Sharp Plays, and then you can check out the tutorial, nice little video that explains to you what it is. But the really cool thing about this new Sharp Play feature is that if you're like me and you might have used a different live odds page years and years ago, there's one live odds page, truth be told, when I used to work at Sports Insights, they would have both steam move indicators and reverse line move indicators, and those are really, really important little nuggets because it tells you when big bets are coming in, when smart money is taking a position. And basically, OddsLogic is now unveiling their version of a steam move or RLM play with these quote-unquote sharp plays. So once you get it enabled, and it's very simple, once you enable it, you're going to get, it'll make a little sound on your live odds page, or in the top right corner, it'll kind of show you anytime one pops up, and it's really cool. So for example, it'll say like sharp play with the timestamp, and it'll say, okay, Bovada, Pinnacle, Bet Online, FanDuel, it'll list all the books and what the lines went to. So maybe a total in college went from 144.5 to 145.5. It'll tell you when it took place and at all the books that it took place at. So the key with a lot of these, sharp signals, obviously when you have your live odds page, just generally speaking, it's going to update and give you these color stamps. So I had some person tweet me the other day, say, what does green mean? What does red mean? What does yellow mean? That just means that as soon as the odds change up or down in either direction, there's movement, those odds get lit up in red. So anything in red means it just changed to what it's showing you. And then about 2 minutes later, it'll go to green. About 5 minutes later, it goes to yellow. So if there's any of those colors, especially red, it means that it just changed. And you might say, okay, it's lit up, 1.5. Okay, did it fall from 2 to 1.5? Did it go up from 1 to 1.5? Well, all you got to do is tap your mouse on the box, the lit up number, and it'll pull up line history. It'll show you exactly where it came from. But these sharp plays are awesome because it's not just at one book, it's a market-wide book. So typically when you see steam, basically that's an overload of smart money across the marketplace. It causes uniform movement. And really the angle there is that wise guys or syndicates are groups of wise guys who kind of pool their resources together. They're hitting basically multiple books at the same time within like a 1 minute time frame. So a lot of books are going to just copycat and just follow that. That's what some people call moving on air. It's not that they took in money and they're adjusting. It's that the whole market is moving and they don't want to be one of those last books that hasn't adjusted. Like they don't want to be, sitting at 2 when every other book is down to 1 because they're, putting out a bad number. But long story short, this goes to show you that OddsLogic is always improving their product. OddsLogic is unveiling this awesome sharp play signal. And also give a shout out to Rick Alec, who I've been in touch with for over a year now, and he's a really cool guy. But I noticed that there were talks about raising the price of OddsLogic from I think $99 a month to like $150 a month or $200 a month. And he put something out on LinkedIn saying, I'm not changing the prices. Remember in Wolf of Wall Street when he probably should have stepped down because he taunted the SEC. This is Leo's character. But he said, I'm not leaving. Well, my guy Rick Alec basically said, I'm not raising the prices. So I respect a CEO, an owner who doesn't raise prices and actually cares about the users and keeping it affordable. So just wanted to mention that new feature. You can test it out yourself, but reminder, I'm an affiliate. So if you go to this link, you're going to get a 7-day free trial and 50% off your first month. So instead of $99 a month, you'll get the free trial 7 days. Then you'll only pay basically $49 or $50 for your first month. But make sure you got to use this link, oddslogic.com/Josh123. Again, oddslogic.com/Josh123. But shout out to OddsLogic for becoming an even more amazing and more awesome live odds platform. Now, with that being said, let's get into the big game tonight. Cannot wait to sweat it. The return of football in our lives. And again, I'll mention this. I know there's college basketball today. I know there's NBA, NHL, there's other sports going on. But I want to embrace these last few games of football that we have. So I'd hate to win a big play here tonight and then go 1-2 in college basketball and have a 2-2 night and eat some juice here. So I know there's some plays in college. I wish you the best luck if you're making other bets, but for me, I'm going to try to make the most of one of these last few opportunities to sweat football with my undivided attention sweating this game here. So that's why I don't have a 3-pack for you or anything. We're just going to try to go 1-0 tonight and catch a winning play here, which is the goal. So with that being said, Miami, Florida, and Ole Miss, baby. College football playoff semifinals. We're down to the Final Four. Let's set the stage, talk splits, talk system matches, talk rhythm, talk juice reel, and I'll give you my play here, of course, for this matchup. So this college football playoff semifinal at the Verbo Fiesta Bowl. It'll be played at the State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona, home of the Arizona Cardinals. Now, some background for both these teams. You all know Miami, 12-2 on the year. The 10 seed just upset Ohio State 24-14 in the quarterfinals. Won outright as a 7.5-point neutral site dog. We're happy about that because remember, a lot of us took the plus 10 on New Year's Eve. But also, Ole Miss, 13-1. They're the 6th seed. Just took down Georgia, 39-34. That game got a little squirrely at the end, but they won outright as a 6.5-point neutral site dog. Also had the points there with Ole Miss. So what have we seen across the board here? Well, this game opened Miami listed as a 3-point neutral site favorite. And then early in the week, we did see this line tick up to Miami minus 3.5. So there was, got to respect some money that took Miami minus 3 to rise that number up to 3.5. But since that time, the line didn't go up to 4. It didn't, breeze through the hook and get up to 4 or stay at 3.5, which is what we like to call painted. Painted just means every book you look at on your live odds page or log in at every account, it's all the same number. It's painted across the board. No, we've seen a lot of these 3.5s get back down to 3. So why is that important? Because it tells me that there was some respected buyback on Ole Miss plus the hook, which dropped this line back down from 3.5 to 3. So it tells me late movement is breaking back toward Ole Miss. Now, you guys know me. I'm a big bet splits fan. I think bet splits are very important. They cut through the noise, and you can go on Twitter and everyone, the public's hammering this side. Well, really? Are they? Or this team's really sharp. Or really, are they? Where are you getting the data from? Super important to me. But if you look at the bet splits, I must admit, Miami looks better because at DraftKings, Miami is getting 47% of spread bets, 56% of spread dollars. Over at Circa, 45% of spread bets, 66% of spread dollars. So full disclosure, the splits seem to favor Miami. But the late movement, and to me a big part of this cap, is just trying to get the best number, trying to get a hook here with the 3.5. Late movement and getting the 3.5 down to 3 tells you Ole Miss. Miami, the splits are in their favor. So let's see if we can continue to build a case to take a position. Now, if we look at where this line moves throughout the day, I wrote about this for vsin.com. I think it's really important to track, again, with your live odds page from Odds Logic, of course. But where does this line close? Like, when I'm looking at this game from a just line movement perspective, it looks like there's kind of dueling sharp action. There's the sharps who like Miami minus 3. There's also the sharps who like Ole Miss plus 3.5. So again, 3 got up to 3, 3.5 is getting back down to 3. It's been kind of this ping pong back and forth. So on game day, as the biggest bets come in, where does this line close at? Between now and 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, do we still see like some books at 3 and some at 3.5, or do we see all books at 3, or all books painted at 3.5? That's something to me as a nerd who likes to study line movement. That's going to be important to me because that's going to tell me if it closes basically at all 3s. I think that's a good sign for Ole Miss because that tells me the books don't want to give out the hook, and the hooks got down to 3. But if we start to see this thing close at pretty much every book 3.5, that'll be a better sign for Miami because they're not worried about giving the hook to Ole Miss backers. So that's just kind of a inside baseball kind of thing I'm looking at between now and kickoff. But here's the thing. We have some angles here to take Ole Miss. So my play is Ole Miss plus 3.5. Here are my angles. 1, a lot of these 3.5s are getting down to 3. Now there are some 3.5s still out there. So I played plus 3.5 at minus 112. I feel like it was more than a week ago, or it was earlier this week, or it was kind of a while back. I'm looking in Massachusetts now, and we have BetMGM, DraftKings, Caesars, and The Score, formerly ESPN Bet, all at 3. But I see FanDuel plus 3.5 minus 120, Fanatics plus 3.5 minus 120, Bally Bet plus 3.5 minus 122. So if you are going to play Ole Miss with me, and it's not that difficult because I just gave you 3 books that are giving you the hook, you got to get the hook plus 3.5. Building a case for Ole Miss further, my Ole Miss is a dog who can score system match. We always like dogs. If you're playing a dog in a whether it's a basketball game or football game, to me, you either got to score a lot so you can keep pace or backdoor cover, or you got to play really good defense to keep it low scoring. In this case, Ole Miss, they can score. We saw they hung, 39 on Georgia, who's got a pretty good defense. Put up, 41 on Tulane the week before. But they're averaging 36.8 points per game. Miami averages 30.6. But that increases the chances Ole Miss can put up points, keep pace, or backdoor cover. Then we get into the angle of college football playoff dogs. They have really barked, knock on wood for us, this postseason. If you look back, college football playoff dogs are now 6-2 against the spread this tournament, 75%. They're 5-3 straight up, 63%. So in round one, James Madison lost but covered. I think they're plus 20, plus 21 to Oregon, 51-34. Bama knocked off Oklahoma as a dog. Miami knocked off Texas A&M for us as a dog. And then Ole Miss was the only favorite to cover in that round. So dogs went 3-1 ATS. And then last round, we had Miami beating Ohio State as a dog. Oregon, believe it or not, they actually closed as a dog. There was late movement to Texas Tech -1.5. So here's a reminder. Anytime I give you systems like this, it's always based on the closing line. That's its closing line. So the line closed Texas Tech -1.5. So that was a dog. Oregon. Ole Miss, of course, beat Georgia as a dog. The only favorite that cover was Indiana, dominating Bama 38-3. That was a bit of a fade the trendy dog play. So dogs have barked in this tournament. So the 3.5s are getting down to 3. That's a good sign for Ole Miss. Ole Miss is a dog who can score system match. Ole Miss is also in the spot where dogs have done well throughout this tournament. If we take another step further, I popped open the Juice Reel app, and guess what? One of the 2 best bet picks from our hardest working bot around, or our buddy, Mr. Robo Jackson, one of the 2 picks is Ole Miss plus 3.5. So I like that the analytics, the AI model that my buddy Ricky Gold and Juice Reel use for their AI bot best bet maker also likes Ole Miss. And then I popped open Rhythm, and I found a Rhythm. I have 2 recommendations on Ole Miss, but I have a Green Star recommended play, very strong signal on Ole Miss, saying Ole Miss should be plus 2. So you add it all up here, guys. I'm playing Ole Miss. I'm playing the Rebels here. Again, I already got plus 3.5. To me, I wouldn't joke around too much between now and 7:30 because on the one hand, I'm really hoping every book gets down to 3. But for you, if you haven't played it yet, you want to get that hook. If Ole Miss loses by 3, we got to cover that plus 3.5. But we have the 3.5 getting down to 3, especially game day movement, late breaking back toward Ole Miss. Why isn't every book at 3.5? Well, because they're wary of giving the hook to Ole Miss. We have dog who can score system match. Playoff dogs have been really good. We have a Robo Jackson best bet pick. We have a Rhythm Green Star play. Says the spread should be 2. Add all up, I'm going to sweat Mr. Trinidad Chambliss once again. And I'll also throw this at you. Again, I'm a data guy. I'm a numbers guy. But I think Ole Miss, motivationally speaking, I'd like them to stick it to Lane Kiffin. I would love Ole Miss to win this game and, again, win the whole damn thing and prove to Lane Kiffin what an idiot you are. What a selfish scumbag you are for abandoning your team and going to greener pastures because LSU is better than Ole Miss and they're going to give you a boatload of money. Well, what about the team? What about these players? What about these kids that you said you would guide them and try to win the whole thing? I would love that to be a galvanizing factor, which I think it is for Ole Miss, and to stick it with that idiot Lane Kiffin. Maybe that's me inserting my own bias. I also like this guy Golding, this coach. I think I mentioned on a pod before, but I like the cut of his jib. He seems like a no-nonsense guy. So that's my play. Ole Miss plus 3.5. You're welcome to join if you are so inclined, or maybe you already have. And I'll just mention with the total, it has gone up. Open 51.5. Got up to 52.5. I'm seeing a 53 now at 1 or 2 books. So we know Miami's got a good defense, but yeah, Ole Miss can score. So again, I'm not going to argue too much with that. But it is interesting with the splits because right now only 45% bets, but 50% dollars at DraftKings are on the over. That's technically a contrarian over. And then if you look at Circa, 52% bets, 92% dollars are on the over. So if you tell me like the over, I'm not going to argue with you. Am I wary of taking an over in a primetime, huge playoff game? I'm a little bit wary of that, but I must respect that line movement toward the over. But for me, guys, one play, I'm going to root like hell for the Rebels tonight, plus 3.5. Let's go Ole Miss. So that about does it for episode 428. A little short and sweet, but I think with only a few, college and pro football games left, I think we should devote all of our attention there, especially because we've been having pretty good success overall, knock on wood, with these games. But with that being said, Wrapping up the pod, always want to start first by saying thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for grinding in the arena with me every single day through the ups and downs, the hot streaks, the cold streaks. Life gives you ups and downs. Betting gives you ups and downs. Highs, lows, lows. But we keep grinding and make data-driven plays, so I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day and your busy lives to pull up a chair to the virtual bar and sweat some sharp, breaking, data-driven insights with me. It means a lot. If you do want to, make my day, please give this podcast a 5-star review. Click the 5 stars on Spotify or iTunes. Leave a nice comment under the review section if you would like. Recommend the pod to a friend. Click the follow button. Retweet the pod when I tweet it out. That would all be very much appreciated. Next, if you enjoy this style of betting breakdown, data-driven, sharp contrarian betting, focusing on line movement, bet splits, system matches, looking at numbers, not teams, but numbers. Again, the oldest adage that you're going to hear once you get into betting is sharps bet numbers, not teams. And that's what we try to do. But if you'd like to learn more about data-driven betting, or you'd like to support the pod and your podcast host, or there's someone in your life who could use some data-driven tips, whether they're just a straight public bettor or they're trying to get into sports betting and don't really know how it works, I would love for you to go to Amazon.com and type in the NFL Sharp Betting Playbook or the Everything Guide to Sports Betting. Those are the 2 books that I've written. Very proud of both. But if you want to grab one or the other, you want to give them a 5-star review on Amazon too, hey, even better. But you can bring them to the sports book. I'll sign them for you, and I'll buy you a beer or a ginger ale, and we'll sweat some Ole Miss Rebels together tonight. Next, do you have a live odds page? Well, you hear me talk about it quite a bit, but you got to download and sign up to get the Odds Logic live odds page. Just mentioned this awesome new feature with these sharp plays. If you need one, again, if you don't have one and then you get it, you're like, man, how did I bet every single day without it? But it is your Bible. Opening lines, current numbers, shop for the best price, the sharp indicators, in-game wagering odds, live scoring, super, super important. So if you want to give it a shot, again, that's oddslogic.com/Josh123 for a 7-day free trial, 50% off your first month. Next, have you downloaded Rhythm and Juice Reel yet? My 2 favorite sports betting apps, Rhythm for their AI-backed models and predictions for game bets and player props. We will have our Rhythm rundown tonight, myself and my buddy Cade Harper at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So look forward to seeing you guys there on Twitter at Josh_insights. And then Juice Reel. Awesome features with Juice Reel as well. First one is you can get the All Systems Go official best bet picks from Juice Reel. As soon as I make a bet, I got my book synced up to Juice Reel, and I make a bet at FanDuel, DraftKings, whatever the book may be. It goes right to Juice Reel and the All Systems Go best bet page. And if you would like to get those best bet picks, if you want to support the team, you want to throw a $5 bill in the tip jar for $4.99 a week, you can get those best bets directly from Juice Reel. You also get the Robo Jackson plays, sharp money indicators, arbitrage plays, shop for the best line futures. Make sure you go download Rhythm and Juice Reel and give them a 5-star review in the App Store. Next, Novig. Have you guys downloaded Novig yet? Well, I try to tell you every day. It's a really cool sports betting exchange, not an app, but it's basically a sports book, but it's not, because you're betting against other bettors in an exchange. So you're exchanging money. That's the whole point. But it's not a book, so they're not going to crush you with the juice. So, for example, I'm looking at the game here for tonight, Miami and Ole Miss. Miami is minus 3.5 at plus 112. Ole Miss plus 3.5 at minus 113. Over 52.5 minus 103. Under 52.5 minus 102. You're getting far better prices because you're in an exchange, not going up against the house, who's going to gouge you with these juice prices. So download Novig. When you fund your account, you're going to put in Josh123 as a promo code, and you will be off and running with an extra $25 to play with. Lastly, I want to reiterate that we have our Splash Survivor contest, the Appelbaum NFL Playoff Survivor contest up and running. You have until Saturday at, what's the first game? I think it's 4:30, the Panthers game. I got the plus 10.5 with Carolina there. But you have until 4:29 to join, 4:29 p.m. on Saturday the 10th. But for $25, you can join the Survivor contest, and you might win up to $5,625. So if you want to go to my Twitter page at Josh_insights, you'll have the pinned tweet, the link right there. Come on down, and we'll give some money here to who can survive each week. Pick your save your Super Bowl winner for the final week. That's important. But as always, guys, appreciate you guys tuning in. Got a big sweat here for tonight. I'm also going to be not only the 6 p.m. Rhythm rundown, but 9 o'clock. Get back to my appearances with my buddy Patrick Maher on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Beeson Live tonight. But hopefully we can celebrate an Ole Miss cover here for tonight. But as always, 2 final thoughts, whether I see you at the Borgata in Atlantic City, Twin River in Rhode Island, the Brook in New Hampshire, Foxwoods or Mohegan Sun down in Connecticut, the Encore in Boston, Plainridge Park Casino, MGM Springfield, the Nash, and my neck of the woods on the border of Nashua, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts. We're out in the desert where the true grinders get down, where Billy Walters sends his number runners, where the lowest juice possible is found at the South Point, or Sweat and Sharp Contrarian plays jumping in the stadium swim pool when you cash a big ticket at Circa. You're going to walk up to me. You're going to show me a Furman moneyline ticket and a Stanford +5, 4.5 ticket. Whatever you do, don't show me Baylor. They stink. I was so annoyed with Baylor. Because you go into those games and you're like, I got to play it because it's so sharp, but they're probably going to lose. Again, you learn to play those games, but you're like, come on, man. Especially when they don't cover for you. But either way, 2-1 winning night, we will take it. So as always, guys, coming off a 2-1 or a 1-2, a 3-0 or an 0-3, a hot streak, a cold streak, whether it feels like everything we're playing can't miss or everything we're playing, we're getting bad beats, just got to stick with it. Not get too high, not get too low, manage our bankroll with discipline, stick to flat betting, and play the system matches when they pop up. Games that fit our model, of course, are the ones that are against the public, with the house, with the pros, flat bet, avoid parlays, and get that CLV. If we can do that, we're going to be successful sports bettors. So have a great Thirsty Thursday, everybody. I'll see you at 6 p.m. Eastern time for the Rhythm Rundown. And then tomorrow, we'll have a big end-of-week pod. That'll be episode 429 on a big Friday of the All Systems Go Sports Betting Podcast, powered by Rhythm. Good luck, everybody, and let's go Rebels. Good luck.